Welcome back to the Everything Is Earned podcast. We are Everything Cleveland, and my name is Mike.
And I'm Tim, the co-host.
And we're here to break down everything in your Cleveland sports world. Welcome back, Tim.
Thanks. Good to be back.
It's good to be back. It's like he never left. He's been here the whole time.
Well, yeah. I've been here, but I've also not.
Yeah, but he's here. Anyways, we have a lot to get into for today's podcast, and we're really excited because we're doing this now Monday through Friday. It's been great so far, getting things going and talking to you guys about what's going on. And today, obviously, we are upset about a lot of things with the way the Browns game ended against the Broncos. But we're not going to go into the full, we all saw the game, right?
Stats.
We know what happened.
We know what's going on.
We know what happened. So we're gonna break down things that matter. We're gonna talk about what it means going forward, and then we're gonna get down to some Cavs stuff and a couple of Indians tidbits here and there as well.
Yeah.
So first thing, obviously, the Broncos came into their own stadium.
Yep.
The Browns came to Denver, and things did not pan out the way we liked. I think ultimately it came down to coaching, and the first thing that sticks out to me is
Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah, well, the nonsense with the shoes, okay? First of all...
That was halftime. So the first thing that stood out to you was halftime?
No. The first thing that stood out to me is that it's week 8? No, week 7.
No.
Week 8.
We didn't
it's
put
week
it.
8. Week 9.
That was week 9. We're heading to week 10 with Buffalo. Because we had Kareem Hunt come back.
Correct.
There we go.
Okay. So you're that far. You're halfway through the season. You need to know at this point that you have to have your ducks in a row. And this far in the season, Freddie still doesn't have any of his ducks in a row.
Does he even have ducks in a row?
No, he doesn't know what he's talking to chickens, man. I don't know what he's doing out here, but it's such a dumb thing to be doing. Like we're not in week 9 of the season still talking about what kind of gear to wear on the field. Like, if you know you shouldn't wear it, don't wear it, and get together. And Freddie should know this and have his team in line. You have 27 assistant head coaches.
Well, I did hear from Odell Beckham that there was a late uniform change in the week. And so I kind of threw off the cleat game.
It threw off their cleat game. Like, he didn't have another 150 pairs of cleats to wear.
So yeah, that's
what he means. It threw off his brand game, and he had to re-talk to his team about what he's going to brand this week instead of worrying about the game plan. But it's okay because it's not like Odell was going to get the ball from Baker anyways on 4th and 4.
That's the only thing he has to worry about because he doesn't have to worry about catching the ball.
No, because we are in week 9 of the NFL, and freaking Baker Mayfield still doesn't trust Odell when he's covered.
To catch more than 5 balls a game. He doesn't average 5 catches a game.
You look at the elite receivers. The elite receivers. Okay, let's talk about DeAndre Hopkins. Let's talk about Julio Jones. Let's mention guys like Calvin Johnson when they were playing. Randy Moss. You got Terrell Owens.
Antonio Brown when he was playing.
Ocho Cinco. Antonio Brown when he was playing. You have all these elite receivers out there in the league, and what they're very good at is making contested catches. And Odell made a couple of contested catches against the Broncos, but it was 4th and 4, and Baker throws in a double coverage instead of trusting Odell, who, by the way, beat his man. And then we end up getting the turnover on downs and losing the game.
Personally, I didn't like that we sent him long on a 4th and 4. That's almost asking, say, hey, clear out, we're not going to use you anyways. If we're going to do anybody, we're going to send any receiver deep, I want it to be Callaway.
Personally,
I want OBJ to stay around the 4-yard first down mark where he can be utilized and beat his man off the line. I couldn't
disagree with you more. You have one of the best receivers in the league. He beat his man off the line. He had an absolute opportunity to score on that play, and Baker could have thrown the ball right into his lap. Instead, he threw it in double coverage.
I will say...
Because you're not reading your progressions right then. If I'm a quarterback, I don't care what the hell the play is. If I'm Baker Mayfield, and I'm out here playing the game in the NFL, my first 2 progressions are going to be Jarvis and Odell. Regardless of what I'm looking at, those are the guys that want to get the ball. So I'm going to go, boom, where's Jarvis? Boom, where's Odell? Oh, if I look at Odell, he's wide the hell open.
Well, you want to Madden that. You want to stare dead straight at one receiver and hope he gets open.
No, I'm not hoping it's open. I'm just knowing that Odell is the best playmaker on the field, and I want to get him the damn ball.
I will say that Baker Mayfield did hit Rashard Higgins on a fourth down deep pass in Seattle. I ended up coming back because of the OPI, but he has thrown those before. So it was I mean, he did hit his other guy, or try to hit his other guy, in Jarvis Landry. He forced it to him, but I personally rather have Jarvis and Odell trying to get open within 5-10 yards. But
so just because it was the most important play of the game doesn't mean there was other plays the Browns didn't leave out in the field. They also
had another failed fourth down conversion.
Oh yeah, we failed on fourth down. Like it's our job.
I mean, technically, on top of that, we did do a little bit better on third down. On third down conversions, we were 40%, which is up 11% on the year, from 29%. Third worst in the league.
Yep. Good percentage up.
So yeah.
Except it didn't matter because you went 1 of 5 in the red zone.
No turnovers.
You only had 1 touchdown on 5 red zone trips. That's horrific.
On a positive side, Austin Seibert was 4 for 4. And it looks like we made the right decision, or John Dorsey made the right decision there on keeping him over Greg Joseph.
Yeah, all you Greg Joseph lovers out there, just you big hugging Greg Joseph lovers, and who else? Who else did you guys love that you thought were amazing?
Who was the guy last year?
Zane Gonzalez.
Zane Gonzalez.
We just liked it because his sister was hot.
Yeah, I don't think anybody liked him.
People thought his sister was an attractive person, so they wanted to support Zane.
But yeah, no, people didn't care for Seibert because he didn't show up in practice. But he's like, you know what? I'm just like AI. He's like, practice. We're talking about practice, and he's a game time performer, and he's 100% for the year on
practice
on field goals. And he's like, practice. Well, give me a game situation. Let me get some game winners. Let me get some meaningful field goals here.
Yeah, he's had a great season so far. John Dorsey is the king of kicker talent evaluations.
Yeah. Special teams finds.
Yeah,
Jamie Dillon
2 for 2 on kickers this year for the offseason talent acquisitions.
Okay, but 0 for 1 on the head coaching acquisitions.
Yeah, you gotta think that there's something
missing
from how Freddie's coaching. But you gotta also think that John Dorsey kind of butchered the search for it. He was like, you know what? Freddie and Baker get along. They're like buddies. They'll have a great head coach relationship, which is not a bad idea because your quarterback is the most important player on the field. But instead of making Baker better, we hired an offensive coordinator that's probably wrecking the plays right now.
He has a completely different scheme from Freddie. So I don't understand what they're trying to do. So the first 5 weeks they're trying to implement that vertical passing offense, and then Freddie was like, screw it, and scrapped it, and that didn't work. And then even since then, in the first 9 weeks of football, we just haven't gave Baker an outlet if the main part of the offense worked. I mean, we've seen a little bit where he's starting putting guys in the flats, giving him a safety net to help him out, but he should have one every single play. He should have someone in the flats to help him out.
Are you
within 5 yards? If you can't do anything, dink and duck.
Do you think
every time we did that, we at least gained 5 yards? Along with Chubb running the ball. I mean, how are you not scoring more than once in the entire game? And 5 red zone trips.
I think the Browns did an awesome job getting down the red zone, and then where you were really successful last year in the red zone, the Browns have been horrendous.
He was what? 17 and with zero interceptions in the
you just
last year.
Throw the darn ball
17-0
to your playmakers, man. And for all you people out there who are like, what happened to Baker in the red zone? Well, first of all, you're missing Njoku, and Baker loved throwing in Njoku in the red zone. You're also missing Higgins, who can't seem to buy his way onto the field. He's saying all the right things in press conferences and pregame stuff, but apparently they don't want to play him. And again, I think it has to do with the Callaway over Higgins mantra, but there's something in the background we don't know about, whether it's lack of knowledge of the playbook or some rift between him and the coaching.
I think it's the regime thing. I think it's from a past regime, and Freddie Kitchens and John Dorsey is trying to just put on the new guys, because you see this time and time again with new regimes, new front offices, where they just regardless of talent, they just like their guys and want to play them. And I think part of it has to do with kind of removing that safety valve, that net for Baker, and saying, oh, okay, if you don't have Higgins, what can you do? Like, are you a consistent quarterback week in, week out? And also, I don't think that would keep him. I think they should have traded him because this is his last year of his contract, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna require a lot of money. So I think they messed up on not getting something for him, at least a 5th rounder. But I think they need the 5th rounder from the tenure, the tender, the 5th round tender from his draft selection if he does leave, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. Which is not horrible.
But it's Higgins. I think he's worth quite a bit more. They could have been flipped maybe for offensive linemen, but I think that's just a wasted opportunity there. And he just wasted this not for the season. Like, if you're trying to make a playoff push, put him over Higgins. Put him over Callaway. He's more polished. I think he obviously has more chemistry with Baker. His hands are better. I think he's a better route runner. The only thing Callaway has is speed and potential at this time.
Callaway, I think, is
speed and potential.
I think he makes plays with the ball in his hands, but you have to get the ball in his hands first.
Yeah, and what offense hasn't been designed to get the ball in the hands quickly to receivers and make plays?
Correct.
It's been pass and then they come down. It's been tight windows.
It's been real
Baker's
garbage.
been throwing in tight windows all season long. Like, it hasn't been geared towards, all right, I'm gonna get you the ball real quick and then you go make a play. We have many receivers that have that capability, even tight ends.
Just gotta be like, what the hell? We have all these weapons, and you can't seem to score points in the red zone. Like, what the frick is that about? But you know what's gonna make all the difference, Tim? We're getting Kareem Hunt back this week.
That's gonna make, if he's anything like if he was half of what he was in Kansas City, he'll be a big improvement over Hilliard. I've been pretty disappointed on Hilliard this season
because he's terrible.
Yeah, I expected him and Deonis Johnson to fill in for Duke Johnson quite a bit. Outside of the extra yard plays where he needs a huge stiff arm or he fights for a few extra yards and makes a crazy catch. Like, I thought as a receiving duo, as a second and third string receivers or running backs, I thought they were filling, and they've been very disappointing, much like the Browns offense.
Well, because Hilliard's bad. But Kareem Hunt will come back, and I think you're going to run some wishbone then. A little bit of...
I don't know why I haven't been doing it all year.
A little bit of wishbone.
No. Before Hilliard's bad again, we have a whole bunch of receivers we can put back there. We have Odell who can throw. We have Jarvis who can throw. And they can run with it. And we just talked about them being able to make, and Callaway being able to make plays with the ball after the catch. So why wouldn't you give them the ball as soon as you could to give them a play?
Is it just me, or do you hate not having a fullback in the offense?
I hate not being able to have a good offense.
I want a fullback in the offense. Like, remember when Lawrence Vickers was our fullback?
He was such a good
Lawrence
fullback.
Vickers was such a
so
freaking
good.
beast.
He was such a great lead blocker.
Oh,
he was one of the best.
Phenomenal lead blocker. How good is Kyle Juszczyk over at the Niners? By the way,
he's making every decent running back look great.
Yeah, he's clearing absolute mammoth holes over there.
Good for him.
He's a beast.
I'm just disappointed that we can't make all this talent work for some reason. Like, every week. Okay.
Coaching.
Yeah, for some weird reason.
Coaching. Ah! No, this is the year of the coach, Timmy. Your NFL across the board, it's becoming more and more evident that your coaching matters on a week to week. This has been the most evident you've seen in years about how much coaching matters. Look at the Colts, man. Jacoby Brissett plugs in plays. No problem with their head coach.
How about even Denver's Brandon Allen?
Sure, Brandon Allen. Look at the job happening over in Houston with Bill O'Brien. They're making Deshaun Watson look awesome. Look at the Cardinals doing great. Look at the Buccaneers even.
Freddie's play call is just so predictable.
As much as everyone hates John Gruden, look what the Raiders are doing this year, man.
It's just so predictable. There's no creativity. Like, and that was the one thing that was working for him last year.
I don't think it's about creativity to me.
I think creativity plays a big part since you have so many weapons. It's like, all right, who are you gonna who are you going to give the ball to?
Here's what's wrong with the Browns. It has to do with everything.
You gonna sum it up in 30 seconds?
Yeah, 30 seconds. Well, just a quick side note. Pittsburgh Steelers are thriving without Ben Roethlisberger, with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback. But back to my point. You have coaching culture. You put those two things together, and that makes a tightly run ship. Look at the freaking Patriots, man. You got the offense that can't really run, and they were undefeated up until being beat by Baltimore. I mean,
they're not that good.
When you have an organization that's ran with discipline, that's ran to the point where everyone knows what their job is, with accountability, you don't run into this nonsense the Browns are running into. You simply don't. Like, you have to lay the hammer down on what is expected from these players.
And Freddie Kitchens from the whip, this made known that it's a buddy-buddy kind of relationship. I think he got too friendly with it early on.
Yeah, and if you get a lot of those, like, hey man, it's all right, you messed up. I just want you to go out there and try your hardest next time and make sure you execute that play next time. And then Baker's like, all right, coach, sounds good.
All right, bro.
And he's like, love you, bro. And that's your head coach. It's like that's can't be what it is. Like, you rely on each other, right? But you have to have a relationship that's founded on, like, we have to execute, because you're messing with my money when it comes down to it. Like, if I'm the head coach, right, I'm thinking about this in terms of, like, I want this thing to run tight because it's a great opportunity and because I'm going to be the one that turns around the Browns. So what I go and do, I take the buddy approach. I'm like, everybody loves everybody. EIE, everybody love everybody. And then we
ELE.
ELE.
There we go.
ELE?
Everybody loves something else.
ELE, everybody love everybody. We're gonna get tropical in here.
You were thinking of EIE, everything is on.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking. Or that, yeah.
On this farm.
It's always talking about buddy stuff, yeah. But I think we expected some lack of discipline, some bumps in the road with being the first year head coach. But I think the most surprising is how dysfunctional the offense has been, because that was his big selling point. He's like, all right, Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley ran a miserable first 8 games last year. Then Freddie Kitchens came in as the offense coordinator and lit a fire on that offense. And Baker Mayfield was only sacked 3 times in the last 8 games, which is tied for best. And that was what he had 19 of his 27 touchdowns in that back half of the season. And all of a sudden, they look like completely different. They look bad. They look probably worse than the Hugh Jackson offense, honestly. Like, with more talent, with the second year under Baker Mayfield's belt, with new weapons, with, you could even argue, a better offensive line.
No, they have a better team, and Baker's doing worse.
Everybody's doing worse.
But that's what it is.
In the second year, that's when you add layers. That's when you build on top of your go-to plays that work and add little nuances.
You know what the word
that's not when
is, right?
That's not when you scrap an entire playbook and say, all right, well, let's do a vertical threat offense when we have no blocking or no blockers that can hold on to the block for more than 2 seconds.
You know what that's called, Tim?
Ignorance?
No, sophomore slumps, bro. They're real, and they came for Baker hard, and Freddie didn't help ward it off at all. Didn't help protect Baker from the sophomore slump, and now we're slumping hard. All right, so I'm about done.
Almost.
I'm about done.
You're done. I got one more thing.
I'm done with the Browns.
I was thinking about this.
I have no more comments.
I was thinking about this loss hard last night, and a little bit this. Huh?
You had some hard thoughts to yourself.
I did. I was deep in my own thoughts. It was up late. I was back in my brain. Back to me.
Rewriting the game plan for the Bills.
Yeah. And I was trying to think of something to relate this Freddie Kitchens scenario to, and I think it's similar to the David Blatt situation with the Cavs. Was that 2015 Cavs? I think Freddie could be a good coach, but it's in the wrong situation. Just like David Blatt might not be a bad coach, or he might have stayed in the NBA a few years if he got a different opportunity. But due to the pressure of acquiring all this talent, of falling into all this talent with a new position, new head coaching position in Cleveland, I think he wasn't ready for it. I think the egos that he had, whether it be Tyler Irving, LeBron James, or in this situation you had Baker Mayfield, OBJ, and some people on the defensive side, and I think this wasn't the right situation. I think you need a hard-nosed coach that the players don't respond to. They're not that liked, but they don't respond to and don't respect. I don't think the Browns players have that in Freddie Kitchens.
Okay, here's where I love this comparison for you, because freaking David Blatt was hired to coach up Kyrie Irving and Andrew Wiggins. Little did we know LeBron was coming back at that point, and then when LeBron decided to come back because he saw the Cavs had acquired the
I see where you're going
draft
with
pick
this.
there.
Go ahead.
He wasn't hired to do that job. He was
hired in January, February?
Yeah, he was hired. He was hired. Before the draft, or right after the draft, I believe. Like right in that little window there, and LeBron was like, "Oh shoot, the Cavs got some assets. I'm on my way back to Cleveland, y'all."
So David Blatt. Okay, I'm just gonna add on there.
Interrupt. Take it away, buddy.
David Blatt was hired as a bridge between the rebuilding era and the playoff, the reemergence of the playoff Cavs.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, within not even 2 months, not even 3 months, he had LeBron James, he had Kevin Love in return for these young assets. Instead of player development, he had to change his strategy to championship mode. Correct. And I don't think his coaching style fit that game plan. And Dan Gilbert's trying to toss it off and all right, figure it out. And I think if Dan Gilbert knew, I don't know, Dan Gilbert's pretty incompetent. He doesn't resign David Griffin, but then he gives second year GM Kobe Altman, who was the main contributor to the Kyrie Irving and LeBron James debacle, a contract extension. So what do I know?
We don't know how many years are per team policy. Has one of the Cavs ever been quiet about how many years they give a GM?
Well, they never read up. Under Dan Gilbert's ownership, they've never gave the GM a contract extension.
Right, correct. But when did they ever not disclose contact information?
It's been several days and we still haven't heard, right?
Right, we have no idea how many years is on its contract.
So that's
no one's
shady.
leaked it out at all. It's not shady. It just means that
weird.
They don't want all the blowback from being like you wouldn't sign Griff, but you're going to sign Kobe for 5 years.
Or it might be
or 3 years. Or no, Danny Ferry. He gave a contract extension to Danny Ferry, didn't he?
Nope, not one.
Not
one to Kobe Altman.
I guess not.
But
Danny Ferry sucks.
The point is, Freddie Kitchens was hired before OBJ was traded too. So it was like, we might make the playoffs if we build on top of last year and everything goes right. Like we could squeeze in and win a few games against Baltimore or split a couple of games with Baltimore and win both ends.
We didn't have the
Pittsburgh.
We didn't have the schedule yet. Obviously we knew division.
Well, yeah, we knew those. But maybe we can squeeze into the playoffs. Then as soon as we got traded OBJ and got rid of Zettler, it's like, all right, the Browns have to make the playoffs, otherwise it's a failed season. So all of this pressure immediately came on to the front office, the most onto Freddie Kitchens. And he's like, all right, so instead of having a feel it out year, trying to get a feel for my team and figure out what's best and stuff like that, and make progress onto the back half of last year, it's like, all right, now I did make these group of young guys who's never won anything. Within the team, a few veterans might have won, and on different teams, and then turn them into a playoff contender, championship contender team.
Correct. So I like the analogy, and you summarized it well. Is Blatt came in to develop, Freddie was brought in to develop. Then all of a sudden you add superstar talent. And your job is no longer to develop; it's to win right now.
It's to damage and tweak for strategy for those superstars.
And Dorsey's plan changed too because you make those calls about OBJ, and you don't expect to get him necessarily, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, we got OBJ,
and we got
OBJ. We have OBJ.
And when the trade happened, it almost like Dorsey swindled New York's GM out of Odell Beckham. Like, really, like we end up with Odell Beckham. Like that's all it took. Like is like a brim like a Pro Bowling a guard, like a high potential like safety. That's it.
And draft pick.
Yeah, and then we got Bonin back too. Like that's all it took. Like that's like at the time it felt like highway robbery.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this trade was still absolutely the right move. I just think that it's been poorly executed on the coaching end.
Since
it
happened because you lost that anchor on the offensive line in Zettler, and we didn't know how. I mean, some of us knew that he was very important, but we know how crucial it was to the offensive line in the first few weeks, and we needed to do something with it. We needed to trade for a solidified starter, and we just haven't done that. We didn't do that before the trade. We didn't do that in free agency. We didn't do that before the trade deadline.
It's like when you have guys that you have guys in the office that have the potential to perform. I don't know if you've ever been in a work environment where it's like, okay, this guy could be really good, and you're like, oh, he'll get it done, and then just don't get it done. You're like, oh, like that sucks. Like we thought you had the ability. We look like you had the ability. Like I remember in my career one time, I had this person who was just phenomenal. Like they were super nice, gonna be a great fit for the position. Brought him on board.
Charismatic.
Yeah. Had
all the intangibles.
Couldn't execute, man. Could not execute. When it came down to doing the task and doing it well,
can you use a different word? I've heard the word execute in the sense of Cleveland way too much over the last few weeks. Freddie Kitchens, I'm talking about you.
He couldn't.
We just need to execute. I mean, that's all we need to do. We just need to store in the red zone. We need to limit turnovers and penalties, and we need to be flawless. And then we need to be some Hall of Famers. Like anything else,
we just need to play football.
Yeah. Any bigger things you want to add to that list, Freddie?
We
just need to do the little things, like win the games and not suck.
I don't know.
This is the little things.
Perform in the moment, I guess. I don't know. Anyways,
perform.
Yeah, perform. Sounds great. So when it comes time, you gotta step up to the plate, you gotta make it happen. And he couldn't do it. Just like Austin Corbett couldn't do it.
I think it's just failed experiment. I think we got so attached to his personality because he is so genuine. He does
Dorsey?
Well, we like
Freddie.
Dorsey because
Freddie or Dorsey?
He made things happen.
He makes things happen.
Things happen. But we liked Freddie because his honesty, his transparency, and like the genuine approach to some coaching that we haven't seen before,
right?
From professional sports, and all of that was very intriguing. And oh man, that's awesome.
It's intriguing when you're winning games. It's not when you're 2-6.
Yeah, on top of him exploding on the offensive end and seemed like he had like the player's ear, and at the end of the back half of the season. On the offensive end, oh man, this is really intriguing when it happened.
When you go from Hugh Jackson, everything's intriguing.
And then we understand this has been. I mentioned this a few minutes ago, but we understand the hiccups, the road bumps, and the lack of discipline, and figuring out coaching the responsibility of the head coaching job week to week. But what we can't accept is the total, complete dysfunction of the offense with all that talent. To me, that's the thing that's unpassable.
Are you done beating on a dead horse?
No.
All right, Tim is committing animal cruelty over here with his Freddie rants. It's all right. We just don't understand why he's the head coach at this point. But no worries. We'll move on. We're going to move on to happier, brighter, more wonderful things, which include our Cleveland Cavaliers. So
who has...
They don't have a winning record at the moment, but it's not because they're not an interesting team to watch or they don't have potential.
But they are living up to the hashtag "Be the Fight." They're making things competitive on a nightly basis, regardless of what team they're playing.
I love it,
and they're fun to watch. There's a lot of interesting player development storylines to follow this season.
Yep,
and I think I'm really gonna enjoy seeing how John Beilein progresses and tweets his lineups, how he wants his players to play, and like just on the offensive defensive end, and this is his adjustments. Like I said, his in-game adjustments are, I think, I've enjoyed quite a bit just in the first few games.
Okay, so let me get right to my points here. So we've had 3 home games so far.
2-1.
I've attended 2 of them. I attended the Mavericks game on Sunday, and you and I were at the Bulls game when they won. Lots of fun. The Mavericks game, honestly, the Cavs were super hot for most of the game. There were some moments where they trailed off a little bit. The Mavericks were hot the entire game. And it wasn't because of bad defense. It was because they just shot so darn well.
There was some bad plays.
Shot 48% from 3 though, dude. That's an insane.
There were some bad defensive players, but they were hot.
They were so hot. Man.
Everyone was hot.
From Finney Smith to Porzingis to Luka, it was like they had all the weapons they needed, and then Brunson came in and he was good. It was like, oh my gosh,
they just filled out. they just complemented each other on Sunday really well.
And it wasn't because the Cavs shot super well. I mean, you had Clarkson playing very well. He shot 50% from 3. You had
Kevin Love,
Kevin Love
5 11.
Yeah, Kevin Love had a great game.
He hit 3 first quarter threes. I mean, he got going early.
But you know what? You know what did the Cavs in though?
The height difference. Rebounds.
Height difference is 1.
Rebounds.
Yeah, rebounds is 2. The third is
shot selection.
Shots. Sure, shot selection. Timmy's got all the intangible things. I want to talk about particular players.
I know basketball a little bit.
Timmy knows basketball
a little bit.
A lot of it. I want to get into what the heck we're going to do with Larry Nance because he doesn't look like he wins you basketball games at all. Like, what does he do out there?
He doesn't look like he cares about basketball. Like 85%. I compare him to like Jamal Crawford. When he's not near. I'm not gonna say he's comparable to Jamal Crawford's skill level. Not at all. I'm saying his mentality is similar to Jamal Crawford's, as in the sense when he wants to play, he can be a good player. In Jamal Crawford's case, if he wants to play, he can be a really great player. But for Nance, he does like 80-90% of the time, he looks like he's passive. He's not communicating at all. He's not talking at all. He's just kind of moseying around. He might have been a few teammates in high school, or just over the years, and he seems like he's not a plus minus guy. Like he's not a plus guy in for the average player. So if you had a replacement player, it's a random guy in the league, he'd be pretty parallel and pretty level with that guy.
Okay, here's why I don't like about Nance. Nance, for me,
he's just weird. Like he
doesn't really shoot threes well.
He doesn't really do anything well.
Shoot mid-range jumpers well. He's not a great rebounder. He misses more dunks than I've seen any player miss dunks.
Besides JaVale
McGee. He doesn't really play good defense.
He tries more dunks than any. They shouldn't more than any other player.
Passes at a higher level.
Okay, I think I know how to peg.
He sets okay.
I think I know how to peg Larry Nance. He's that type of player that everyone was trying to be before Stephen Curry made it a 3-point league. You know how everyone wanted to be the good at everything player. That I want to be able to shoot threes. I want to be able to rebound. I want to be able to defend. I want to be able to pass and dribble. Like you want to be able to do that. He's kind of like I feel like he's trying to be like
well-rounded role player that doesn't really do well.
He's well-rounded, but like only kind of well-rounded because all the things he's well-rounded all that he's well-rounded with aren't very good. I think he's trying to be like Corey Maggette, but he's not Corey Maggette.
He's had a negative plus-minus his entire pro career, except for the year where LeBron was here in his first year, and he had a point. He was positive 1 point when he was in the game.
Who is Colin Sexton?
No, it's Larry Nance. Larry Nance's entire NBA career has not been a positive point player. Now there's Sexton, but Sexton's only in year 2. And speaking of Sexton, it's our daily time to talk about how Colin Sexton doesn't help the Cavs win.
Larry Nance is a veteran now too. He's played he's like what 3? He's played 3 years over in LA. Now his season is what? It's third season with the Cavs. Yeah, he's been in the league for 6 years, and he still seems like a second year guy.
Yeah,
I feel like I want to put my arm around him and just teach him about basketball just a little bit.
No, I just want to put my arm around him and say, we're trading you to Sacramento. That's what I want to do.
Nah, Sacramento's gonna be a good team. I want
The Wizards.
Yeah,
The Wizards.
There we go.
I'll give you Colin Sexton, Larry Nance, and a bag of basketballs
For your
Bradley
best,
Beal.
for your best dryer.
For Bradley Beal. Speaking of the Wizards, you know that Isaiah Thomas is over there playing basketball for him? He's starting his first game for the Wizards tonight, actually, which is really funny.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him, but also, you remember how bad Isaiah Thomas was when he was here in Cleveland? Not because his hip was broken or anything, but he's bad.
He just didn't fit. And he didn't know how to have the ball not in his hands.
Fit in or fit out, bro.
Like,
that's what LeBron said to Kevin Love on social media, inadvertently and not directly to him. Anyways, continuing forward, I'm just not a big fan of what they do for your team. I think Sexton and I think Nance just don't fit into your team's game plan anymore. I need a 2-guard that can shoot the 3 ball and is going to make quality decisions with the basketball in his hand.
I just want to be a team player.
Sexton can do.
Shoot your shot whenever you
feel it.
Can
we pull stats on Sexton's 3-point shot this year because it's horrific. Like, I'm sure, or for early stats now. Don't worry, I got you. Colin Sexton, second-year guy, not a great player.
I feel like his 3-point shot's down.
To me, it's not down. It's horrendous this year. Like, and let's take a guess. What do you think his 3-point percentage is?
Let me think. It was at 40 and a half last year? 41 and a half?
Yep.
Which is pretty excellent for a rookie.
I'm not going to say horrendous.
Anybody.
It's
really good for any player.
Say it's averagey to mediocre.
I'll say 34 and a half, 35 and a half.
34 and a half.
On the money?
On the money. You didn't even see the stat. No lie, Timmy did not see the stat. I was looking at the stat. 34 and a half is on the dot.
You know how I know. Shooting. You know how I know that's a decent percentage now. I've talked about it quite a bit now. Is my senior year of high school? I shot 35.5%, and I was I shot the most in the league. And I made the most in the league, and I was one of the top percentages in the league. I'm like, wow, I'm shooting at a ridiculous clip. 3 or 4 years ago in the NBA, that would have been some of the best shooting in the league,
right?
3-point arc. But with the new focus,
ooh, focus.
The new focus on 3-point shooting, and the new area of just
pace and space.
A lot of
people
players
are shooting way higher percentages.
I mean,
offenses are designed to get more open threes.
That and shooting isn't something that you're born with. You can become a shooter if you work hard enough and you get the right.
Look at my boy Brook Lopez.
The right fundamentals, you can just become a shooter.
Look at my boy Brook Lopez.
It's not like dunking. It's where if you have certain height requirements, like you have to be this tall to be able to shoot. Yeah. I mean, anyone can shoot. You just have to combine work ethic and learning the fundamentals.
And attention to detail.
Attention to detail is huge. There's so many little nuances with shooting.
Right. And I think that percentage is only going to go down this year. So look for Colin Sexton to progressively lose stock and become less of a factor for the Cavs.
My trade alert watch is still active.
My trade alert watch has been active since last year but
this with the little signs, the big one the biggest one I think we've seen off the court, because there's a lot of on court signs.
How he doesn't pass the ball.
His quote on saying that he refuses to give up the point guard spot.
How many assists do you think he's averaging a game right now?
3.5.
2. It's down from last year. How are you even a better?
Because there was a few games. Okay, the last 2 games he had 2 assists in the first half, and then I couldn't remember if he had any in the rest of the game. And now that I recall, he didn't have any after the first.
He didn't play a lot of minutes yesterday's in Sunday's.
Because in the first half, he kept on trying to pump fake 7-footers and then finger all around them.
He was really bad against Dallas. He was
he doesn't understand
minus 19, bro.
He doesn't understand how wingspans work.
Yeah,
or height.
He played 25 minutes. It was minus 19. Brandon Knight played 20 minutes because Beeline was like, "I'd rather play Brandon Knight than play."
I think we're shopping Brandon Knight.
I think we could be shopping Brandon Knight, but I'd rather be shopping Colin Sexton.
Can we shop both?
Can we shop both and get a better player
point guard in return? I'll take on a large contract that expires.
I'll take on
a year.
I'll take on
a year from
contract.
now. So not next year, but a year after that.
I'll take on that hefty contract.
Yeah. So we can have some more cap in the 2021 offseason.
Here's a real crazy question for you.
Shoot.
Do you think the Cavs could make a play at Chris Paul?
Do you want to?
No, but also,
he has a massive contract.
Since we're talking about Colin Sexton, can we talk about how Gilgeous-Alexander is killing it in a Thunder uniform right now?
Oh, the guy who we said is better than Colin Sexton early last year.
For literally, I've been saying this. We've been saying this for over a year now. That this guy is better than Colin Sexton.
Yep.
And the Cavs passed on him, and then he went to the Clippers and was part of the.
And he was such an asset that he was part of the Paul George asset.
Yeah, and now he's like averaging like 20 a game. And he's killing it. And he's shooting his butt off from three, by the way, as well.
Is he? Good
for him. He wasn't a good
turns out he just needed a little bit tweaking and a little bit more reps.
And some work ethic. And playing with Chris Paul.
Yeah, that helps.
That'll help a lot too. So okay, that's gonna wrap my Colin Sexton ranting up. I don't really. We'll talk about it more, I'm sure.
Still an enjoyable season. We've won 2 out of 6 games, and we're
getting better. We're getting progressively better, which is more than you can say about than the Browns.
And I like a lot of people say it. Freddie Kitchen said it several times that Baker Mayfield doesn't make mistakes twice. But I think John Beeline is implementing that system and getting his players and tweaking like individually with his players to not make those same mistakes. I think even I saw some weird passing from Colin Sexton. I think that's even weird to begin with. His passing's always weird. But weird passing in the sense that he did pass and like times he should. And there's a few times on the fast break where like he looked to the corner and hit Kevin Love early.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, is that Sexton? I saw the hair, I saw his crazy eyes. And that's Colin Sexton.
He had now you bring up his passing. He did have a play yesterday when the Cavs were trying to make a run back in the game, and Tristan Thompson had 4 straight free throws missed. But one of the times he was at the line, he got to the line because Colin Sexton gave him the ball like a half an hour too early on a 2-on-1 break.
Oh, that was awful.
And it was like, oh, holy crap. All you had to do is...
He didn't go out wide and try to stretch the defender. He didn't try to go for the layup. He literally gave him way too early.
He gave the ball to Tristan too early. I was like, here, try what you can. Like, see what
and
happens.
He got a foul. He didn't get a layup.
Tristan got the foul.
On a 2-on-1 in professional basketball, they didn't get a layup.
Always get a layup.
Always.
You always get a layup.
Unless there's some crazy defender like LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard.
Or a big man that can block things.
Even that.
You should
have the speed to either do a quick layup or find a teammate.
But a 2-on-1, you should always score.
Oh, Paul George. Those are 3 people... Giannis. The four players. That's it. Not this anymore.
There's 4 players. I can name 4 more players.
No, don't do it.
Okay, go ahead.
The 4 players in the league that could turn a 2-on-1 into an easy miss.
To a stop, yeah.
To a stop.
I would say so, but it was horrendous. Didn't like it. Wasn't a fan. Thought it was really, really, really.
I mean, but
really
the bounce pass was textbook.
It was
straight out of a textbook.
Straight out of the textbook, he made a complete bounce pass to Tristan Thompson.
I think that was
about
part of
2.5 seconds too early.
I think that was part of his film. His thousands of hours of film. I think he confused film with reading how to play basketball for dummies.
He shouldn't be watching his film. He should be watching other people's film.
I think that's what he did too. I think he's been watching thousands of hours of his films and wow, man, I'm so good.
Narcissistic.
This hyping himself up.
Bad, because you have to do to watch thousands of hours of your own film. Like, yeah, see that shot I made? That was awesome. Look that drive I did? That was real cool. Look how I didn't hit the guy in the corner? Love that. Like, what are you gonna do at that point? You really gotta, you gotta kind of play it out and look for guys who you want to emulate and guys who you want to like live up to. And watch their film.
Obviously, we haven't heard anything as if he was watching thousands of hours of his film. He just said film, as in probably
he was watching his film.
It was probably his film, but it was probably on
he was watching that one game at Alabama over and over and over.
Oh, the one that got him the eighth one, the
one that got him drafted.
The one eighth pitch in the
watching
draft.
That over and over and over again.
But no, just how defenders play him. He does do a better job of acting like a point guard, and when he doesn't have numbers or doesn't have positioning, to back it out.
It's not that he's not improving. It's that his improvement isn't good enough.
Yes.
He's never going to be good enough for me, Timmy.
He's just never going to look like a basketball player to me. The eye test is never. It's always going to be a little quirky.
It's so wrong. Like, he doesn't help. Like,
I think his reaction time and his decision making is so slow. I would love to see, like, some next gen stats on that. Like, I want NFL to go over and do some NBA stuff.
LeBron James makes a pinpoint pass
when
identifying it in 0.3.5 seconds. Colin Sexton takes 4.5 seconds to identify a similar pass.
No, to identify a teammate. And then another, like, 2 seconds to pass the ball.
Yeah, it's the same, 4.5 seconds.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
So
he doesn't read the court. He keeps his dribbles his head down.
It's decision making. It's just really slow.
Head down.
So I think John Beilein down his head a little bit about that, and a little bit about
he took away some of his minutes.
If you can't make the right play like to your teammates, then you're not gonna play. I think that's what we saw a little bit with it. I think John Beilein, the coaching staff, and Talon Sexton over the course of the season, we're gonna start to see a little bit of trail of leading up to a bid of outburst from Talon Sexton, either from the GM to trade him, or when I see it, Colin Sexton either on the court or like when I hear in the locker room, or he's gonna break in like a team rule or something where he's gonna be out a few games. But I think we're gonna see something when I say clash between what he values himself with the team and the fit of the actual team within how Kobe Altman and John Beilein sees it.
I don't think that's going to happen at all. What I think will happen, and I think is Beilein will decide he hasn't fit the system, and Kobe will make a trade. There won't be any blow-ups. It'll come out of nowhere. Everyone will be shocked and dismayed, and we'll all be happy on the Everything Is Earned podcast.
Yes.
Anyways, let's get to the weekly segments here real quick, because we do have some weekly segments. Then we have some fan questions.
That's a new thing.
Fan questions.
Ooh, fan questions.
The
night we make it, you can send either to our DM on any of our social medias or our personal ones on mine and Mike's with the hashtag. If you're gonna do with the hashtag either tell Tim or mention Mike, and we will add them to the end of our episodes. We'll answer them.
You're so catchy there, Tim.
Yeah, you like that?
Tag Tim.
No, tell Tim.
You're right, bro.
Tell Tim.
I'm going to tag Tim instead.
You can tag Tim, too. I'll find either one.
You can tag or tell Tim.
I mean, we might find some vines.
Should we go
in the midst of that?
Should we go questions first? Yeah, questions first sounds good.
Sure.
All right.
Let's do question first.
All right, we got Cavs Chris here, and he's going to ask, how bad is Baker, and is he, quote, the guy?
How bad is Baker? This season, he's been quite bad. He's been quite disappointing. And for a guy who you think coming off the crazy or the record-breaking rookie season he had to make the next step, he just didn't do that. He looked lost at times. He looked flustered and confused. He looks like he can't read coverages at times in certain games. He's been all over the board. And I think with some of the early interceptions, he's gotten a little gun shy.
Okay, I will say,
but
I don't think he's bad. I think he's just having a tough time adapting to this system. But I do think he's still the guy. What the Browns are having to worry about going through the rest of the season here is that you don't ruin Baker and make him not the guy,
and ruin his confidence. Because that's a big thing just with young quarterbacks. If you put in their heads early on that they don't have the intangibles to succeed, what they do isn't good enough, then that could ruin a quarterback and his confidence early on in his career.
All right, next question here is from downtown Mason Brown. And Mr. Brown here is asking, should Freddie let Monken call the plays?
No. I think Todd Monken did enough with his scheme early on in the season. He's like, all right, I think he had Freddie's ear. He's like, all right, vertical passing game.
You know, 5 yards is cool.
Try 50.
try 15 yards on for size.
You know what a cool little drop down in the flats to Nick Chubb is cool?
How about Hilliard?
how about put Hilliard in instead?
Yeah,
you know we're trying to find OBJ on a drag route. Let's hit Dalen Fellows on a deep post.
Darren Fellows isn't on the team anymore.
I know.
Let's hit Farrell Brown. Okay, no, we're not gonna let Monken call the plays unless Freddie gets fired. In which case, Monken call the plays he wants.
And I hope he learns from the first 5 weeks of the season if that happens.
All right, Amber hit us up with a question here too. She says, "The landscape of Cleveland sports as a whole. What is expected from each Cleveland sport?"
What do you want to start with?
Let's go just real quick with the Browns. You want to finish out the season strong. The playoffs are kind of a far reach, so you want to finish the season out strong. You
gotta go
get Baker back on track.
You gotta go game. You have to.
Back
you
on
can't
track,
worry
Baker.
about winning the last 8 games of the season. You have to take one day at a time and just make little improvements every game.
Back on track, Baker.
Being disciplined and coming out ready to play, I think the last week is a good improvement. I think you should have done that week 1. But I mean, we're learning. We are making progress. But just building on top of that.
Okay, so Cavs, I would say you're looking at a low playoff seed, like a 7 or an 8.
You're looking for a late playoff push.
Yeah, late playoff.
You're looking for a lot of development in the young guys.
Make some nice trades.
You would like to see Colin Sexton figure it out.
I'd love to see him figure it out.
I mean, I as a Cavs fan, I want the best from him. I just don't think I'm trying to be realistic, and I'm trying.
Get out of here with your realism, Tim.
Yeah, I'm trying to be realistic and this reasonable.
Way to put context and perspective into things.
Reasonable,
Gosh,
yeah.
Gee, jerk.
And I think I just don't see it. I don't see it in Sexton. But late playoff push, I want to stay healthy. I want Thompson. He's only played 65 combined games in the last 2 seasons, along with Kevin Love, who's only played. Kevin Love's might actually played more games than Tristan Thompson, which is crazy considering he didn't miss a game up until I want to say early 2018.
I just love Kevin Love.
2017, late 2017.
Kevin Love's my guy, and you guys are starting to see it this year.
Oh, Minnesota. That's later.
Minnesota Kev.
That's later.
You're later.
Indians, you would like to get back in the playoffs next year?
Didn't they have the highest odds to win the World Series?
They had the 5th highest.
5th highest odds.
Yeah. Get back in the playoffs. Kluber get back and get healthy. We gave him a contract extension. Oh, we exercise.
Exercise is option.
Exercise option.
Yeah, we went on the treadmill and gave him the option.
And then we need to sign Lindor to extension. I don't care how much Dolan wants to enjoy the last couple of years of Lindor's contract.
It's not happening.
Want to re-sign him.
It's not happening. They're going to trade him for a bunch of players, and then we're going to go win the World Series like the Nationals did. It's the same thing. Everything in sports is the same. You can make the comparison. We're the Nationals next year. We don't need Lindor, just like they didn't need Bryce Harper. We are the Nationals in 2020.
Let's be real.
Just enjoy it, because here comes the Nationals, here comes the Indians. We're going to win. We're going to meet each other in the playoffs, and we're going to win a World Series.
But who's more valuable to a team, Lindor or Harper?
Lindor. But we're the Nationals. I mean,
speaking of Lindor,
we are the Nationals. Everything's the same. You can always draw comparisons and convince yourself of something.
Okay, that's true.
Anyways,
Lindor has won his second Silver Slugger.
Second Golden Glove, along with Perez.
Winning
his first. Yeah,
yes.
pretty
Okay.
impressive.
And then
stuff.
What's expected of each sport?
I
think we mentioned. I think the Browns fans out to get strong. Salvage what you can in this season. Cavs stay healthy. Playoff push.
Yep.
7th, 8th seed.
Yep.
And then the Indians back in the playoffs and don't get nothing from Lindor. Either find a way to re-sign him, which is very unlikely,
or get a big old haul.
Big old haul.
Big old haul. Big old truck.
The next one we have here is from JBaked724. Is a System 10 record enough to keep the coaching staff for next season, or is Munkin going to be the scapegoat?
Give me my scapegoat when I need one.
Why would Munkin be a scapegoat?
I don't know, because he's probably the guy who's
messed up the
pulling
offense.
The strings in the offense.
Messed up the offense.
That could be, and Freddie could be like, "I'm calling the plays without Munkin next year."
I think.
Hey, buddy boy.
I want to say scapegoat, but scapegoat is typically a false person or a thing to blame a season on. But I'm gonna say who should really be blamed is for Jimmy Haslam. It starts at the very top.
No, get out of here.
Starts at the very top.
The Haslam's finally did their job and took their hands off and let Dorsey run the show. And Dorsey is the one responsible for hiring Freddie Kitchens and for hiring Monken. So
what are you gonna put on? What are you gonna put on John Dorsey then? Because
the coaching staff.
We've been talking on the
show. You give him all the praise for building a team, but then you got to give him all the downs for building the coaching staff.
Wow. So who's gonna take control of the coaching staff if it's not Dorsey?
It's gonna be.
You mean Dorsey next year?
It should continue to be Dorsey. Do
you think Mike McCarthy is the right next option?
Yes.
If we fire him midseason,
you heard it here first. They're going to talk about him this week because he's assembling a coaching staff and a game plan, and they're going to be some rumors about the Browns getting Mike McCarthy. It's going to happen.
What?
There's rumors that McCarthy is assembling a coaching staff
to build in Cleveland. To
take whatever he's going. And I want all of that, please. Thank you very much. Wipe the staff. Give me a new staff.
So Monken could be a scapegoat.
Wipe the staff, man. I don't want any of the staff. I don't want Wilkes. I don't want Monken. I don't want Freddie.
I don't like I don't like the scheme. I don't like the defensive scheme. I don't think the 4-2-5 can be a base defense in this league. At least not with Steve Wilkes as a coach.
It's hot garbage. The whole coaching staff is hot garbage.
And then our last question here is from Peter Zeffo.
Peter Zeffo.
That's a cool name. Would you rather have Greg Williams right now over Freddie?
No. Never Greg Williams.
As a head coach or as a defense coordinator?
As a head coach?
Maybe. If he was the man who corralled...
That's a poll right there. We're going to make that a poll.
We will make that a poll.
That's a great...
Thank you, Peter Zeffo.
For all your content creation.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We will at you. Say, credit Peter Zeffo. You better listen to this episode.
Sick poll, man.
You better listen to this
episode.
That's
content, bro.
But if he was the one that motivated that team in the last 8 games, I'd say yes. If it's defensive coordinator, absolutely no. I don't like that he was the only one on the universe.
They scored so many points on him and got all the yards.
Well, there's so many factors to it. You can say, just from a trusting standpoint, you say, all right, I don't believe my players. Let me put a safety, Jabril Peppers, 99% of the time. Deep, 40, not even exaggerating, 40 yards off the line of scrimmage. Consistently 25 yards off the scrimmage. He thought he was better than any other defensive coordinator that's ever coached football. Because nobody does that.
He's also responsible for Bountygate.
Nobody. Yeah, and he's a dirty coach. He teaches dangerous
tactics.
Tactics. I was going to say fundamentals, but that makes no sense.
Dangerous football warfare tactics.
That and James.
There's no place for that in my
from an ethical standpoint. That's just it's messed up.
You can't say the words ethics and the NFL in the same sentence.
Okay,
from an ethical standpoint, it really doesn't belong in the NFL.
You absolutely can. We're talking about people's brains.
There's no
here.
ethics in the NFL.
Yeah, when you're taking cheap shots. Okay, as an athlete, you have to respect not trying to cheap shots.
I'm just giving you a hard time because
if it's about your
the NFL does not care about ethics. Just so you know.
Well, obviously, because he's still coaching.
No, the NFL as a whole.
But
Tyreek Hill is still playing football.
Yeah, I'm saying, but as a Cleveland fan, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, so no, thank you. No, I'm fine. That's fine.
Okay.
No, we're good, Timmy. Settle
So
down.
So head coach maybe, defense coordinator absolutely not.
Which is weird.
I'd rather have Freddie as my defense coordinator.
Yeah, I think Freddie coached a nice defense. He's a real solid.
I know
defense.
He wouldn't put.
He'll let Myles Garrett do all the spin moves and whirly twirlies that he wants to do. He's that kind of friend to his players.
He's that kind of buddy.
He's a good friend to his players. He's just out there supporting them, just clapping them on, cheering them on, just calling the challenges when they want to call challenges.
Speaking to wrap this thing up, but before our weekly segment, speaking of lack of ethics, or just decent human being stuff.
Jermaine Whitehead lost himself an NFL job for life.
For life, yeah. He after the loss, let's say
he tweeted at everyone and their mom.
Yeah, and their mom. I feel like he had
said some real mean stuff.
He had a few bono accounts, but after he's probably one of the biggest reasons. The players who had the most missed tackles in that game, and he's played the worst. to fill in that secondary for.
Good thing we have Demarius Randall.
Demarius Randall who's injured.
All his health.
But yeah, he decided to go on Twitter and just start threatening a bunch of people online and start doing lots of racist slurs.
And good job with all the Browns and their ethics. Got rid of him promptly.
Promptly, kind of. I mean, you should have rid of him during the night. I'm sure some of the media team could have came up with something.
Yeah.
It's not very hard.
No, it's fine. I'm not mad. They got rid of him Monday. It's not like they wait till Tuesday.
But I did listen to some of the Freddie Kitchens interview. He didn't really mention it. I thought he should have really laid in on him.
He should have laid into him, like unacceptable
and
behavior
say
will not be tolerated in the Cleveland Browns organization.
Yep, all of that stuff.
We are
off the top of your head.
We hold our players to a much higher standard, and he did not meet our ethical standards.
Our players
Therefore, he will no longer be a Cleveland Brown.
And
if anyone wants to participate and act in such ways, they will no longer be a Cleveland Brown as well. Like
that was very good.
That was off the top of my head, man.
Yeah.
I'm corporate as hell, bro. I can just go with it.
I'd add that
I got corporate Kool-Aid just oozing out of my veins, bro.
Okay, I got a little tweet for you. I'd add we hold our players and our men to higher standards.
And our grown adult men
to higher standards.
Because they're setting examples out there.
As characters, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big thing with I wonder
if he has an ethics clause in his contract where he can lose money for being that kind of.
I hope so. That'd be great.
Hope they take all his money.
I hope they do. But I think that was one of the big pushes for Freddie Kitchens is his character, and the fact that he didn't kind of mention that in the decision to waive him. Really, he didn't really comment it. He said we waived him. It happened this morning. That's all you need to know.
Okay, I'm with you. All right, last two things here. Weekly segments. We're gonna rock and roll this. Buy or sell.
Which one are you selling with?
Buy or sell. We're gonna go.
Browns?
Are the Browns gonna go 8-2 after the bye week?
No, 8.
8-1.
Are they gonna win out? Are they gonna win out after? No.
What question are you asking, Tim?
It's the last 7. They have to win out the last 7 games.
Go win the last
2 and 8. No, last 8. Last 8.
Last 8 games.
Yeah, win out the last 8. Are they buy
to go 10-6? That's a tough ask.
Yeah, are they gonna win out the last 8 games of the year?
I'm saying yes, Tim. I'm all in on Freddie Kitchens. I'm all in on Baker Mayfield, on Odell Beckham, on Kareem Hunt. Fixing the entire Browns organization
clearly
with one swift game against the Bills.
Clearly, the last 20 years of
you can't shake my confidence.
The last 20 years of mental exhaustion has finally caught up to Mike.
Mental exhaustion isn't even close to cutting it, Tim.
He dove.
I'm all in, man.
He dove super off the deep end, guys. We lost him.
I bought it. I bought all the stock, man.
This will be
fill me up on this Brown season being a success.
I think it's safe to say that he's not buying.
Next question.
I am not buying.
I don't like your answer, Tim. Moving on. Next question.
Okay, I'm not buying because if we can't beat the Broncos, how are we going to beat the Bills?
Correct.
How are we going to beat the Ravens who just beat the Patriots?
We're not.
There you go. There's 2 losses right there.
All right. The Cavs buy or sell is real interesting.
This might be my favorite buy or sell question since we started these segments.
Is Minnesota Kev back?
Give me it. I am buying all of that. I thought Minnesota Kevin Love would be back last year, but he wasn't healthy, and he didn't have the structure or the scheme with Larry Drew.
You know what it comes down to?
It comes out to being healthy and having a coaching staff and being mentally healthy.
Ooh,
mental health.
Mental health.
And we know that Kevin Love has been one of the biggest advocates since 2017
you see Kevin Love's
mental health.
Eat, Pray, Kevin Love summer that he had? Kevin Love basically just traveled across the globe.
Which I don't know why
and
athletes
documented the whole thing on Instagram for everyone to see.
Why don't athletes do that more often?
He said it was super healthy for his mental state preparing for the season.
You have all the cash.
You have all the money. Go enjoy everything.
Go enjoy the lifestyle that you built, that you earned.
Yeah, you earned that.
Within the professional sports
arena
industry.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. No, Kevin Love had these Eat Pray Kevin Love, and Minnesota Kev is absolutely back.
Well, let's put some.
He's not as burly as Minnesota Kev, but that's not a bad thing because he's a better player since Minnesota.
Or baby. He's not as chubby. He doesn't have that baby look.
He's got that clean cut, I'm selling Banana Republic. Like, I'm also gonna get all your rebounds.
Yeah,
like, I'm coming for your rebounds.
He's a Banana Republic modeling,
three-point shooting,
dime dropping,
drop stepping, like board owning Kevin Love. He's out
NBA
here.
champion winning Kevin Love.
Yeah, he is
the
ultimate warrior.
He's putting up some crazy stats. We're not just winning this out of thin air. I mentioned it last year, but I think he's done it in the past. But before the Dallas game, through the first 5 games of the season, he had 86 points, 84 rebounds, and 24 assists. The only other person that reached those 3 marks in the first game of the season was Wilt Chamberlain in 1966. So I think it's safe to say he's a pretty good player.
He's a pretty darn good player.
So
some random person, I don't even know who it is, told me that Kevin Love was a waste of space before the season started. And I didn't slam him, but I was so ready to slam him. I will not tolerate Kevin Love slander the rest of the season.
Well, let's just bring this from a larger perspective. As soon as we gave him that bid extension, everyone was saying that was a waste of money. That it was a waste. It would hinder the cap. He wasn't worth it. He doesn't stay healthy. That he's not the player that he was in Minnesota, and he's come out gunning early.
Kevin Love is all the player he's been in Minnesota and better. He's staying with the organization. He's not going to get traded. So all you trade monkeys can settle down.
Trade monkey then.
And he'll be here for the remainder of this Cavs season and into the next.
I think besides being injured, I think what we saw was this is a dysfunction pouring out more than Jetty than Kevin Love, because you're still a player, especially someone who's been such a focal point throughout his career in Kevin Love, in that very young Cavs team last year should have been the focal point 3 times over. He should have got 15 looks in the post. He should have got 25 shots a game.
But he didn't play at all.
He wasn't playing, but do you really think Larry Drew was going to implement that in his system? I don't think so.
Larry Drew is garbage.
I think John Beeline is giving him the freedom that the star players deserve, that offensive juggernaut and shot maker and Kevin Love deserves and should get. And I think he's finally feeling comfortable in this new coaching staff.
Yeah, last several games, Kevin Love's been absolutely pulling when he needs to. And that's so great to see that he understands that he's what makes this offense go. And he's been absolutely scorching from the field. And he's been positive in the plus-minus.
He's been really efficient, too. I mean, the last 3 games, he only shot 10, 16, and 18 shots. And he had 17, 22, and 29 points in those games. In his last 2 games, he made 10 threes on 22 attempts.
Yeah, he's having
He had 5 threes in the last piece in the last 2 games.
Yeah, he's been scorching.
He's been 3 of 5 too, 1 of 3. I mean, he's just been very efficient. And he's been dishing out assists too. He almost had a triple-double against Indiana.
That was awesome.
And I think he's gonna have some slumps. This Cavs team specifically gonna have slumps, but I think the Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson duo is going to be very important throughout the season.
Not if we unload our Colin Sexton Larry Nance combo and find some talent.
Well, I don't think they should be on the floor together either. I think you need to give Henson when he's healthy those minutes, or a lot of those minutes.
I'm pro keeping Henson.
Yes, and I think he's a better 3-point shooter than Larry Nance too. Larry Nance. Okay. We were talking about how Larry Nance doesn't look like a focused player, or he doesn't really do anything well. Look at him when he shoots threes. He's so indecisive. That's all you need to know about Larry Nance. You supply his 3-point shot to his entire game as a basketball player, and that's all you need to know. He's kind of with it, but he's almost all the way out. He's like a little bit in. Like he's got his left foot in. And then let the rest of his body out.
Is that a hokey pokey basketball game? Can't be hokey.
I mean, I'm not Larry Nance's.
Can't be hokey pokey in a basketball game. It's just not a good idea.
But yes, Minnesota Kevin Love is back. I think you're in too. You really?
Yeah, I'm buying. I'm buying that hard.
Okay.
All right, that's gonna wrap up this episode of our Everything Is Earned podcast. But we're really excited that you guys all joined us and got to hear your questions answered and everything. And by the way, every single question that was asked was answered. So all you fools out there thinking that your questions
let's not insult all fans or listeners here.
All you lovely people out there that just think that you're not being heard on social media, don't worry. We hear you. We see you.
We got you.
And we answer your questions.
So
sometimes.
all the time.
All the time.
Every episode.
Every episode we'll answer your questions.
So if it is a Sunday night, if it is a Tuesday night or a Thursday night, and you have some Cleveland sports questions, send us one of those DMs and that question, and we will answer them.
Tweet it up, man. We're out here for the greater good of Cleveland sports culture, and we're happy to break down all these wonderful things.
Yeah, all the opinions, all the discussions that you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah, we're putting it out here for you to get juiced up.
So you can burn all of your friends on all the Sexton love, all the Kevin Love hate, all the Baker Mayfield trash talk. I mean,
get gassed up, man.
We're here for
it. Get gassed up and subscribe to the Everything Is Earned podcast.
All the Dolan love.
The Dolan love? No one has love for Dolan. Don't pretend there's Dolan love.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be that positive vibe, but no one likes Dolan.
I'll be that positive vibe when they re-sign Lindor.
Yeah.
Until then, not so much.
Assets.
All right. Well, my name is Mike, and this is Tim over here. He's had a lot to say today.
Always.
And we really.
You're asking questions. I have more opinions.
All right.
I have more opinions.
I'll
be back here. I'll be back here Thursday night with more opinions. You can count on that.
You can book it. He said.
Book it,
boy.
Book it like Devin Booker.
Book it like Devin Booker. I'll take Devin Booker. He's a nice player.
Oh yeah, just kind of.
Just kind of.
Colin Sexton for Devin Booker straight up.
Straight up.
What do you think?
Says no?
What do you think, Monty Williams? What do you think?
What do you think, Monty? No, he's gonna say no. Yeah. So we're gonna be back here for your Wednesday edition of the podcast. Don't worry, we're gonna keep you guys Monday, Wednesday, Friday for all your Cleveland sports talk that you want to jump into. And that people on the radio and the people in the sports articles aren't talking about. We're here to talk about it. We're here to break it down.
We're here to be real. We're here to be honest. And a little bit optimistic. We all from Cleveland.
Yeah, hell yeah. Optimism all day. Thanks again for joining us. This is the Everything Is Earned podcast. My name's Tim.
Whoa.
My name's Mike. Whoa. My name's Mike.
Hey, look. Out of body experience over there. I was so locked in. He wanted to be like me, so he just said he was.
All right, we'll try one more time. My name is Mike.
I am Tim,
and this is the Everything Is Earned podcast. And remember, in Cleveland, everything is earned.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.